Welcome to Off the Page Reviews, a channel dedicated to talking into the void about whatever book I happen to be reading. The following review will contain spoilers. We are back with Taran Matharu's Summoner series, Book 3, Battle Mage. This book picks up where Inquisition left off, with Fletcher, Sylvia, Othello, and Cress entering the Aether to escape the orcs. I understand why people love trilogies. They are iconic, and many great works, like The Lord of the Rings, The Oresteia, and The Divine Comedy, just to name a few, are arranged as trilogies. See, I even did that in threes. There's something in the human mind that just likes that number. But the idea of writing a trilogy can be as much hindrance as a help. The Summoner Trilogy is a beautiful set of books. They use a red, blue, green color scheme and are about the same size. Book 1 and 2 are 350 pages respectively, and Book 3 is 367. The cover design is on point. But both books 1 and 3 could easily be divided into two books. This makes me sad, because it is a very good story, and it could be better if it wasn't in such a hurry. The first half of Battle Mage is perfect. Fletcher, Othello, Sylvia, and Cress have fled into the Aether to escape the orcs. They can breathe the otherwise poisonous air thanks to the petals of a special flower, but they only have a limited supply. This leaves them to survive in an alien world with no idea which way is home. I love this part of the characters have a problem, and they don't have a clear answer. The first problem is getting away from the orcs part of the Aether. They are aided by an amicable turtle demon called a Zartan. On the way, they have to solve other problems, like finding food, water, and more of the flowers that allow them to breathe the poisonous Aether air. It's this last problem where things get interesting. While Cress and Othello stay with the Zartan, Sylvia and Fletcher go out in search of flowers. The main problem is that they only grow around volcanoes, which leads them back into orc territory. It is inevitable that the orcs catch up to them. This is where we finally meet the albino orc, Khan. As a side note, don't name your villain Khan. And if for some reason you must name your villain Khan, don't have the hero shout his name. All I could hear was William Shatner chewing the scenery, and I had to close the book and laugh. It really killed the mood. Khan tells Fletcher how he's blessed by the gods to conquer Hominum, and then the world. In the orc religion, an albino orc is destined to rule the world with the aid of a dragon that can be evolved from a salamander much like Ignatius. This is a little odd, because up until this point, there's been no indication that one demon can become anything else. It's one of those plot points that really needs a little more lead-in, even if it's just a passing comment. Fletcher is saved from the wrath of Khan, I am not sorry for making that joke, by a newly evolved Ignatius, who, after a swim in the volcano, has become a drake. There's a desperate escape, followed by some more survival and searching for home, but the return to Hominum brings a new set of problems. This is where the book kinda loses its footing. Everything gets in a big hurry. We have to thwart the triumvirate, save the dwarves, sneak around the palace, prevent war with the elves, revive a lost part of the kingdom, go to war. That's a lot of story for 240-ish pages, and it shows. Nothing is allowed to breathe. As an example, Fletcher receives a mixed group of humans, elves, and dwarf recruits to guard his newly obtained lands. Even though several chapters mention training, the fact that the three groups aren't becoming a cohesive unit isn't even brought up until right before they are forced to work together. This is one of those plot points that deserves build-up. Little moments here and there, tiny fractures ready to burst into bleeding fissures that threaten to tear the new colony down racial lines, with Fletcher trying to hold it all together and questioning if it's possible for races to work together on more than an individual basis. And then the last stand of the 300 moment comes, and they decide that whatever differences they have, they collectively know the orcs are worse. This is the way we get moments like a dwarf reloading a rifle for an elf because the elf is a better shot. Or a human and an elf armchairing an injured dwarf back to safety. Moments like these only have meaning if they have build-up. A big theme of this series is racism, and this is the point where it needs the big emotional payoff. Which leads me to the final battle. Fletcher defending the pass was a great battle, with multiple strategies and engagements. The final battle with Khan, the White Orc, not so much. Like I said, when Fletcher was temporarily captured by Khan, and he was doing his villainous monologue, he told Fletcher that a salamander could become a dragon, and he was going to bring his own dragon to destroy Helmenum. Fletcher never mentions this to anyone, not Sylvia or Othello or even King Harold. The fact that the orcs were bringing a dragon is kind of critical information, and it's not like turning Ignatius into a dragon is a difficult process. He just needs a volcano in a couple hours, both of which are easily accessible. He absolutely had the time and resources to accomplish the task. There are just better ways to make your hero the underdog than to have them make dumb choices, especially when they are otherwise shown to be competent. I know it seems like I'm complaining a lot about this book, but I really like the trilogy. It's an interesting concept with good characters and good themes. It just barrels through its plot like a rhino in full charge. I'm dropping this one down to my second shelf. Like the first book, it's trying to put too much story into its pages and not giving events enough time to breathe. Thank you for your time. I know everyone's mileage will vary, so feel free to leave your thoughts. If you like what I do and want to contribute to my unhealthy book habit, please visit my Patreon. Thank you.